Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Thank you all for joining me today. So I'm going to be starting a new series today. It's called My Top 10. So I'm going to be showing you some products, starting with primers. I've got a nice little basket of primers here, and I'm going to show you my top 10 in each makeup category. We're going to start with primers and we're going to end with setting sprays. So I saw several content creators do this type of video. Some do top 5, bottom 5, some do top 10 in each category. And what I will do is I will link the channel and video of a YouTuber that I subscribe to that has featured this series on her channel. And what I'll be doing is I'll be listing all of these products in the description box below, as well as providing links where you can purchase these if you so desire. Okay, so as I said, the first category is going to be primers. So I have 5 hydrating primers and 5 smoothing primers. If you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes. And everything, as I said, is going to be linked in the description box below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, as I said, with the hydrating ones, and we'll move on to some pore minimizing and smoothing primers after that. So the first primer I want to talk about is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Now I don't have one open right now. I do have a backup in my backup drawer, but I'm not quite going to open it because I do want to go through a couple of the hydrating ones that I already have before I pull that one out again. But I do have a little travel size right here. So this is a lovely, lovely cream. It is it's sort of like a moisturizing primer. It's sort of like a pale creamy color cream. It is sort of nice and thick, and my favorite thing about it is the aroma. It smells like fresh squeezed orange juice. And when I put this on, let me tell you, I think I got some on my nose. When I put this on, my skin looks so well hydrated before I even put on foundation. So, I mean, this is a pricey one, but stay tuned because I've got some drugstore ones as well. So that would be my number 1 hydrating primer. Then I want to move on to this one. This one is the Too Faced Proactive Nourishing Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer with coconut water, probiotic-based ingredients, and skin revivers. This is a fantastic, fantastic primer. This has a nice little pump to it, and it's very emollient. It hydrates my skin. It creates a nice base for makeup. And I think a lot of these really help my makeup last long. So again, it's the Hangover RX from Too Faced. Again, I love this one, and I will repurchase, by the way, when I run out. The next one I want to talk about is from First Aid Beauty. This one is the Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer, and this is safe for sensitive skin. It's just a squeezy tube. You pop the top, and then it's a little squeezy tube. And it's just so hydrating on the skin. I always, when I'm applying my makeup, I always put a hydrating base down first so that my skin can sink it in and really start to make my skin ready for foundation. And I really love this one too. All right, then we have this one. Now here's a drugstore version for you of a great primer. This is from the brand Pixi, and this is the Rose Flash Balm, and this is an instant skin booster. And it's a 3-in-1 moisturizer, primer, and mask. Well, I don't use it as a mask. I use it as a hydrating primer. I love this. Sometimes I even use this on days when I'm not wearing makeup, and it just makes your skin look so glowy and healthy. And again, it's a great base for makeup. That's what I'm wearing today under my foundation, is the Pixi Rose Flash Balm. Now, I will tell you that this has a very light rose scent. So if you're not a fan of a rose, then this might not be for you. But this is a great hydrating primer, and it makes your skin look just so healthy and glowy. And then the last primer that I want to talk about that is hydrating is from Believe Beauty. And this is the least expensive in the bunch here. This one I may have paid $4 or $5 for at Dollar Tree. It's only, Believe Beauty is only sold at Dollar Tree, or you can purchase it. I believe you can purchase it online. I'm not sure about that though, don't quote me. But this is their Pretty and Primed Hydrating Primer. It's just a little squeezy tube, but what I really like about this one is not only does it hydrate the skin, it's a little blue, it's, you know, got a blue tint to it. No, there's no fragrance whatsoever. It just sinks right into the skin very nicely, and it's very hydrating. And so those are my top 5 hydrating primers. Now let's talk about some smoothing primers. And as I said, as I use these, all of these I will repurchase easily. I will repurchase these. Okay, let's move on to now some smoothing primers. So what I do is, after I do a hydrating primer, I go in with a smoothing primer on all the areas where I have enlarged pores. Now, I don't have oily skin, but as we age, our skin tends to drag and our pores can become larger. That is my situation. So I like to use a smoothing primer after I use my hydrating primer, just on the areas where I need it. So for instance, my nose, between my nose and my lips, and then the tops of my cheekbones here, that's where I have the enlarged pores. And the one thing, my holy grail that I love and will continue to buy is from Tarte. Now again, I just showed you in my empties video that I had finished that one off. I do have one in backup, but again, I have some other smoothing primers I want to get through before I pull that one out. And this is just, again, a little travel size. This is the Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. And let me tell you something, this is the best one that I have ever tried. I have tried many smoothing primers, and this one is my favorite. And it's this very sort of thick consistency. And I just take a little bit like this, just this tiny little bit, and then I rub it between my fingers, and then I go on the areas that need to be filled in. And this does a great job. This blurs your pores so well. And it is a little pricey, but I have to say it is worth the price of getting the Tarte one if you have enlarged pores. Let's move on to Laura Mercier. This is another one of my favorites here. So this is the Pure Canvas Primer, and this is the blurring version. And again, it's just a little squeezy tube, and it doesn't have the blurring capacity as the Tarte. Again, the Tarte's my holy grail, but this is a really nice blurring primer. It does help blur the pores on the nose and on my cheeks, and I really enjoy this one. So that's a good one to use. Then I have 2 from NYX, and I kind of, you know, have got them together. Ooh, as I throw it in my floor here. I tend to keep these in the same category because they're pretty much called the same. This is the NYX Pore Filler Targeted Stick. So what this is it's a stick, as you can see. And what you do is you just go right over those areas where you have enlarged pores. I'm wearing this today as my smoothing primer. And just go all over those areas, and then I take my fingers and I just tap, 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 tap. Now, this is a very, very economical purchase. This is a great little pore filler. It just kind of helps blur those pores when you're putting on before you put on your foundation. Now, along those lines, I have this. This is the NYX Pore Filler Primer Base, and this does the same thing as the stick. The stick is more targeted. This is a squeezy tube, and this will go, it's like a white cream, and it will just, I use it sometimes instead of the stick to go over those areas. I gotta say, this is, if the Tarte is my holy grail number one, I think the NYX Pore Filler might be my number two, because I really enjoy that. Then I have one here from Revlon. So now these are these NYX ones, and the this next one from Revlon is very, very economical. So this one is the Revlon Photoready Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing Makeup and Skincare Primer. This is a complex infused with vitamin B5 and hyaluronic acid. And it's got a nice little pump, and I will show you what this looks like. This is sort of like almost a clear, like a clear white base. And the minute you put it on, you can actually feel it starting to fill in those pores. It's really a nice one. It's really a nice one. So there you go. There's the difference. Can you see the difference in the two? I can. Yeah, this really helps blur the pores quite a bit. So this would be my number three. Okay. And then the last one that I'm going to talk to you about today is from Benefit. And this is the PoreFessional Hydrating Primer. Now, I don't feel that this is especially hydrating. I would love to find a primer that not only hydrates but fills in my pores. And this does a great job of smoothing out and blurring the pores, but it's not as hydrating as I would like it to be. So I just basically use it like a smoothing, blurring primer. And it's just a squeezy tube. And this one is more of like a sort of a cream color right there. And this one feels just like the Revlon one. It works pretty much like the Revlon one. In fact, I would say, if I had to guess, I would say they're quite close. I would call them even a dupe, because both of them have some sort of, oh goodness, I can't put the cap back on. Both of them have like a sort of hydrating property with hyaluronic acid. I believe this has, this has hyaluronic acid, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Okay, it doesn't say on the back of the package, and I don't want to be giving you incorrect information, but they both are very similar with how they apply. They're very similar with the effect and the blurring. So these are great. These are great. So that is my top 10 favorite primers. Now, I have more primers in my drawer that I don't like as much, and maybe I might do in the future, I might do top 5, bottom 5, and so you can see my 5 favorites and my 5 not so favorites. But yeah, so that's it for today's video. I hope this was helpful. So I would love to hear in the comments what your favorite primers are. So there you go. That was my top 10 favorite primers in my collection currently. And I would repurchase all of these. If I ran out, I would definitely repurchase every one of them, because I just love these top 10. I do have some primers in my collection, a few that I don't like as much, and I may declutter in the near future, but these are my top favorites that I would definitely reuse and repurchase if necessary. I thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps out my channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. And please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you're advised of all my future uploads. And with that, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.